Alright, well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Genshin Impact. You've missed about half an hour to 45 minutes worth of content between this and the previous VOD. Because I was streaming and I was recording this. And then the entire computer just completely died. Yeah, I just need to buy a whole new computer just in general before I even worry about like the extra parts and stuff. Well, that's slightly annoying. I guess I have to use Animo to clear these. Except that they're on a 3-second, it's on a 3-second cooldown. So I can't just, you know, clean. I have to hit the thing and then wait, and then hit the thing and wait.
Windblade.
Don't get a 144 hertz monitor unless I'm willing to stay there.
Windblade.
But well done dusting and dusted with doing the dusting. Let's report to Heralded. I mean, I'm pretty sure that my eyes can't even see above like 45 or 50. Because when I look at 30 and I look at 60, they look exactly the same to me, so. Like, I've never looked at something that's only like 30 FPS and then looked at something that's 60 FPS and been like, oh my god, I see the difference. Well, I may also remember that I have vision issues, like serious vision issues. Finished? Well done. Wonderful, this was a huge help. Can't imagine how long this would have taken me by myself. If I'd gotten the girls to do it, who knows how many items they'd end up destroying in the process. Please take this. I do apologize for troubling you. A visitor with the work of a winery maid. Next time you visit the winery, will be spotless. Right. I don't know. I suppose I can understand that. I don't know, when it comes to like resolution and stuff, you know, FPS and stuff like that. Like I've looked at stuff that's 480p, 720p, and then 1080p, and like not been able to even see a difference between the three. So, and people are all about like, oh, 4K now, and I'm like, I didn't even see a difference between 480 and freaking 1080. And now you all want 4K? Like, what the heck? Like, what was the difference to begin with? I don't even see it.
I take it you're about to inform me of the war declaration from the Abyss Order. I'm aware of it. Though I appreciate you for taking the trouble to come all this way.
What?
The Dawn Winery's intelligence network extends beyond commercial matters.
1080 at 144 is better than 4K at 45.
Great.
See, I wouldn't know.
So, what's the plan, Master Diluc?
I'm open to suggestions.
You really should join forces with
No.
Knights.
That would be playing right into the hands of the Abyss Order. They know full well that we don't exactly see eye to eye. They're using this as a means to force me into making an appearance. If my identity were exposed, all my future activities would be subject to some degree of interference from the Knights. After all, no powerful organization wishes to be outdone by someone from the outside.
Ooh, the Abyss Order has really dealt you a tough hand this time. What a sneaky little bunch those guys are.
I've never seen a 4K monitor. I've seen I've seen 4K TVs, but never a computer monitor.
But for it to work, I need some more information.
But like, people are talking about like, oh look, 4K on like the PS5 and the Xbox One. No, not the Xbox One X. That whatever the stupid name is for the new Xbox. Because Xbox can't name their consoles. But like, if people were talking about like 4K on like the PS5 and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay. And I was watching somebody play a game. I don't remember what game it was. And they're sitting here talking about like, man, the only thing that sucks about this is the like the high resolution textures like popping in. They're like, if you look here, you can see this low resolution texture, and then when I move here, you can see a higher resolution. I'm looking at that texture, and I'm going, I don't see a difference. It looks exactly the same to me. And they're like, but it's so clear and so obvious. I'm like, I see no difference. I don't see this popping in that you're talking about. It all looks the same.
Specifically, I need to decipher
My
the
eyes are terrible.
obscured portions of the Abyss Order's war declaration.
Obscured portions? You mean the bits Paimon can't read?
It must be a cipher only understood by members of the Abyss Order, used to spread messages within the organization.
Why would they send you a written message only they can read? If anyone can't read it, why did they write it in the first place?
It's not simply a war declaration, but also a notification to their own.
Well, I mean, like, my computer monitor is 1080p.
When you take a stand that makes you a hero to one party, you also become a villain to the other. And since I've been the Abyss Order's enemy for so long, they've made me the target around which they can rally their troops and unite their strength.
Wow, seems like it takes a lot of brains to be a superhero, huh?
I understand my enemy well, is all. As the saying goes, heroes and villains are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, no, 4K doesn't matter at all to me. So, and it's not even that it's not a big deal. It's literally, it doesn't matter. Like, to me, I literally don't care. I'm the person that when somebody says, oh, 4K, I say, ugh. Kids these days and their 4K TVs and their 4K video games and I feel like an old woman when I say those kinds of things. But like, it really is like, it doesn't matter to me at all.
So what are we gonna do about the intel that's written in gibberish then? How do we unify it?
Simple. When you don't understand something, you ask. I've already tracked down one of their strongholds. If you're interested, feel free to come along.
I mean, I feel like I have to say that I'm still that way about HD. What really is annoying? Something the matter? How about you, traveler? Master DeLuc mentioned you. Heard you were an experienced and skilled adventurer. Going off topic. So, did you come to the Dawn Winery to pick up some wine? Sorry, but this is a bad time. Due to the storms, the 3 roads leading out of the winery have all been rendered impassable. Knights of Favonius were able to clear the obstacles blown in by the wind quickly, but the nearby monsters have all gathered on the road for some reason. People can go around the area, but it's impassable to carrying carts. We can't move any of our wine out, and the ingredients we ordered can't come in. It is most frustrating. I've heard of your exploits. I know of your skills, so perhaps, if you would, could you get those 3 roads reopened? Leave it to me. Wonderful. Thank you for your willingness to assist. I have marked the 3 merchant routes on your map. Please help us out. I haven't heard about 8K yet, but I've heard about 5K.
Ready the wines.
I don't know if it was a typo, or if it was actually like they were saying 5K. But 8K TVs already exist. You know what's funny? When the original standard definition was a thing, we didn't have a name for it. Nobody even cared. When flat screens came out, we started saying CTTV and flat screen TV. Obviously, nowadays flat screens are the norm, so you just say TV. But like, it was like, hey, CTTV and flat screen TV. And then, like, HD became a thing. 780p, 1080p. And so then, all of a sudden, it was like, your standard definition, or your high definition. And then 4K came out, and people are like, hey, let's call it Ultra HD, because now it's 4K. So what the heck do they call 8K? Like, Ultra Max HD. What do they call it? I actually don't know. I've never even heard of 8K before. Like, well, seriously, what do they call it? You're just jealous because I can see in 3 dimensions. Yeah, I am a little. I can only see in 2, so. And that's not a joke. Because I'm blind in one eye, I legitimately can only see in in 2 dimensions. $8K UHD. Sure. What's it gonna be next? 16K.
Someone needs assistance.
But you know, I bet they probably went through this with the whole like going from 16-bit, 2D graphics to when they started going to 3D graphics. I don't know, I didn't really, even though I was alive at that time, I didn't really get into, the whole thing. I was still a kid at the time.
Someone needs assistance.
When like the whole switch to 3D became a thing. So like it just didn't affect me then, because I was like 10. No, I wouldn't have even been 10. I would have been 9 when the N60... Did it come out in 96 or 97? Because if it was 96, I would have been 8. If it was 97, I would have been 9. You knew, that's why you went so hard. Okay, that makes sense. 97? Okay, so I probably was 9. I guess it depends on when it came out in the year. Whoops. Ah, frick. Because, of course, you know, if it came out during the winter, the holiday season, then it would be after my birthday, August. So it would have been 9.
Leave it all to me.
I was thinking it was 97 that the N64 came out, but I didn't remember if it came out in 97 or if, like, Star Fox, that I know came out in 97, just came out that year, you know? Like, my fondest memories of the N64 are us getting it and playing Star Fox. But that was in... God, I think that was even in, like, 99 when we actually got our 64. It was either 99 or 2000, one of the two. I feel like it couldn't have been 2000. That seems too late. But definitely, like, I definitely didn't get it the year it came out. My school had a... you know, my school was a church, remember? Wait, really? Star Fox came out in 98? Huh. Just sworn it was 97. And my church had a... So no, we definitely would have gotten it in 99 then, because Star Fox had been out for at least a year. Before we got our N64. But the school that I went to was a church school. And the church that ran my school... I just watched a video about it. Alright. The church that ran my school had a teenager nightclub type thing that was open every Fridays. And what they did was they had a bunch of like video games up in the like the modern, like current gen video games up in the like upstairs area. Alright. And one of the games they had two N64s up there. And one of the N64s had Star Fox. And our school, because it was, you know, ran by the church, let any of us who were done with our schoolwork, because it was a homeschool system. So, you know, you went in, you did your work, and then when you were just done with your work, you were just done. Like, that was it for school that day, basically. And so, like, we would go in, and if you were done with your schoolwork, you know, before it was time for the school to close and people to go home, it was kind of both a school and a daycare in that regard, because it was like, you went there and you did your schoolwork. And if you got your schoolwork done, you were just done. At that point, like, it wasn't that they sat there and did school or anything. They just, like, watched you, made sure that you were good, you know, let you play games, stuff like that. Like, they had a PlayStation 1, several PlayStation 1s, several Dreamcasts, I think they had like 3 of each console was what it was. Like they had 3 PlayStations, and then it was either 2 or 3 Dreamcasts, but I know they had 2 Nintendo 64s. And in one of them, they had Star Fox 64. I don't remember what the other one was. But also, the school would let you bring in your own, like, games. Like, if you had a Nintendo 64 game and you wanted to bring it in and play when you were done with school, they would let you. So we brought, like, Quake, and, like, my brother and I brought Quake and Mario 64 and stuff like that a couple of times. Which is hilarious, because freaking Quake in a, you know, church. Thank you, Travel. You saved me. I expected there to be monsters here. Just lucky to have run into you. Please, take these for your trouble. But like, we played Quake, we played GoldenEye, we played a couple of other games.
Someone needs assistance.
That we owned. And so, you know, we just brought our game in. We never owned Doom 64, otherwise we probably would have, if I can be completely honest with you. And that's about the time that my brother and I were playing Doom. So we absolutely would have if we had owned it. I mean, we had Quake. It's a shooter game too, so...
I'll catch up.
Have you cleared the merchant roads out? It's big and span. Great, our winery's business can gradually resume now. I should have reported this matter to Master Duluc. He's up and disappeared. Searched high and low for him all over the winery, but no one knows where he's gone. Adeline said something like, Master Duluc has gone to attend a personal matter, but refused to say anything more. She didn't even look worried. Forget it. Once he's back, we'll have a good talk with him. I've never played Perfect Dark. I know it was by the same devs as GoldenEye, though. Like, most people I've talked to have basically said, yeah, it's basically GoldenEye, but better. So. Oh my god, though. You want to talk James Bond. Like, I played GoldenEye on the N64. My parents would not let me watch the movie GoldenEye. It had, you know, it was a little too sexy, you know. There was nudity, sort of. Yeah, because there's the one scene where, like, Natasha, or Natalia, whatever her name is, she's like, it's very clear that her and Bond have, you know, been together for that night. And, like, that's the only, like, nudity that's in the whole movie. But, like, my parents didn't my mom didn't want me to see that. And at one point, my dad ended up just letting me watch it. And so that was that. I watched GoldenEye. Well, my friend at the time had what's the other one that's on the 64? World is Not Enough, I think. And like, I was like, oh, you know, 007. So I played that, and I enjoyed that game immensely. It was a great game. My mom found out that I had gotten a chance to see GoldenEye and had now played World Is Not Enough. And World Is Not Enough has like 4 or 5 of those like sex scenes in it. And so my mom was like, no, you know, I'm not, you know, she was just straight up like, you know, you're never watching that, you know. And I was, what, 11, 12 at the time. And I was just sitting there playing the game. And, you know, this was before streaming and YouTube and stuff. But I was recording. Like, I had a VCR hooked up to my TV. God, VCRs. I had a VCR hooked up to my TV, and I was recording my gameplay. And every time I died, I would rewind the tape back to the beginning of the level and re-record it, because I was trying to record like a full playthrough, you know, without deaths and things like that. And my brother found out that I was, you know, doing that, and he's like, well, why are you, you know, like doing this? I'm like, because, you know, I want to watch it afterward, you know, it's fun. I want to see the story and things like that. He goes, you want to see it? Why don't you just watch the movie? I'm like, well, you know, Mom says well, I can't watch the movie. And then my brother's like, well, just go watch the movie. And he literally, like, went out, grabbed the movie, brought it into the room, and he's like, here's the movie. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm a kid. I don't really know, you know. I was like, oh, hey, you know, cool. I can just watch the movie. So I watched the movie. And, yeah, I mean, again, there's like 4 or 5 sex scenes in that movie. And it was... Yep. It was, I mean, I was already on the road to, you know, enjoying... you know, sexy things. But that only, you know, helped to, you know, push me further along that road for sure. It was quite fun to watch though. Yeah, it's that like, you know, you're not supposed to be doing this, and so it's exciting, you know. And then that was the last James Bond movie I ever watched. That was the last time I ever watched a James Bond movie. Or I should say it's the last time I watched a James Bond movie from start to finish. GoldenEye and World Is Not Enough are the only 2 movies I have seen all the way through. I have seen 0 other James Bond movies. Just because, like, I discovered that while I used to, like, while I did enjoy the, you know, obvious sexy parts, I just was not into the James Bond. You know? Like, I just really was not into the series. And so I was like, I just never bought, like, my mom had, like, every James Bond movie at the time. I just never watched any of the others. So... I mean, I won't deny that I have. But there's nothing really wrong with that, though, so...
Abandoned ruins like these are precisely the kind of place the Abyss Order likes to camp out. Come on. There's no time to lose.
Whoops. Cipher for the ciphertext. Ciphertext written by an Abyss Mage for an Abyss Mage. The most way to read it is find an Abyss Mage, of course. I kind of want to bring Zhang this time. Let me switch out Amber for Zhang. Oh no, I don't expect judgment. It's more that I'm just uncertain, like, the exact rules that Twitch has on those, like, discussing that sort of stuff. Like, if it were up to me, I would have zero issues talking about that kind of stuff. It's mostly just, like, I don't know how Twitch reacts to that, you know? Yeah. It's like, that's the thing, that's basically the thing. It's like, that's why I don't want. Just because, you know, they always say, you know, ignorance of a rule does not, the ignorance of a rule doesn't, like, give you the right to, you know, neglect the rule or whatever. Like, just because you don't know that that's the rule, that doesn't mean that, like, you're able to get away with, you know, not following the rule. Also, apparently I died. I just know I disconnected. I usually try to, you know, stick with the rules, though. And when I know the rules, I will be 100% like open and like spoken about whether or not I'm following the rules. When I had my moped, and I was using that to, you know, get to work all the time, I had a cop try to pull me over because I was driving a moped on the street. Thank you for that, game. I didn't realize this was Diluc's trial dungeon, otherwise I wouldn't have even bothered with switching in Zhongling. But like, here in North Carolina, it is 100% perfectly legal to drive your moped, like, just basically anywhere. You can't go on, like, the interstate, you know, I-70, but you can drive down the highway, no problem, US 123, that's, like, literally right next to my house here. You can do that, you know, on a moped. Nobody will complain. Or anything. Well, people will complain, but it's not illegal. And this cop one day tried to pull me over because I was driving. You know, I was a moped driving along. He wanted to go 50. I'm a moped. The most I can go is 25. Like, literally, that's what being a moped is required. Like, it cannot go. Well, it can't go over 30 on a flat, and it's uphill. So it's like, yeah, there's no way I can. I'm confused by his talent. One moment. Searing Onslaught. Skill can be used 3 times. Okay. 1 for justice, 1 for courage, 1 for... Okay, that's what that is. Okay, I get it. But like, you know, it's perfectly legal for me to drive on that road. And it's uphill. So, you know, if you're going 30 on a flat, you're lucky if you can get 20 going up a hill. Especially one as steep as the hill that's out here. And like, this cop decided that he was going to get upset at me. Because I was driving, you know, 20, 25 miles an hour down the road. He was behind me. He was in an unmarked car, so I didn't know it was a police officer. Had I known it was a police officer, I would have immediately, you know, pulled over for him to go by, no problem. But, you know, I'm driving down the road here, as I'm allowed to do. And he gets upset because I'm driving down this road, you know, going 20 miles an hour on a moped. And he actually finally gets so annoyed that he pulls me over. And he asked me, do you know why I pulled you over? And I said, I have no idea. I'm perfectly, you know, it's perfectly legal for me to drive along here. You know, yeah, this is a moped, but... You know, I can only go this fast, you know, so I'm not really sure why you pulled me over. If you let me know, though, I will gladly, you know, correct it if it's something I can correct. Wow! Way to go, friggin' Luke. I was not paying attention at all. But like, the cop pulled me over and he's like, you know why I pulled you over? I'm like, I have no idea why you pulled me over, honestly. You know? Yeah, you know, I'm driving down US 123 here, as I've done for the last year. You know, no problems. You know, I'm on the right side of the road, so it's not that I'm on the wrong side of the road. You know, because there's the slow lane, the right side, and then there's the fast lane, the left side. You know, and because I'm a slow vehicle, I have to stay on the left side of the... You're on the right side of the road.
I am no knight of Furious. Now start talking. Your plan, what is it?
I see you received our letter, but if you think I'm going to let you in on our secrets, I'm afraid you're quite mistaken.
I love the voices for these guys.
You appear to have misunderstood the situation you're in.
Burn him with searing hand.
Did you just use a pyro vision to shoot fire from your hands? Ah, it burns!
Let's see how long it takes for you to crack.
Burn him with searing hand again.
Stop! Please, Pain, I beg you, make it stop!
Where'd it begin?
Playing dead won't help you. That fire was nowhere near strong enough to...
Oh.
He seems to have passed out. Hey! You sleep when I say you can sleep!
It burns!
That was great.
I'll talk. Ow! Please, stop! I'll tell you everything. This order. We've amassed a force bound by a shared hatred for the Dark Knight hero. They will march on the Mondstadt city gates at 10 p.m. tomorrow night. That's everything I know. Please, don't make me suffer those flames again.
That's it? Well, I doubt you'd be foolish enough to keep anything else hidden.
I love that. I love those Abyss mages. But like, I'm driving down the road, the cop pulls me over. And I'm just, and I straight up tell him, like, all of my rights. I'm like, I have the right to be on this road. I have the ability to be here, you know. Like, there's nothing you can tell me. You know, I'm following all the rules and everything. And he gives me the dirtiest look. Because he realizes, like, I know what I'm doing. He can't intimidate me. You know, I'm like, I'm sorry, but there's nothing he can do, you know. But he realizes that. And he just kind of grumbles and is like, well, you just shouldn't be on the road here when you're only going that slow. I look him straight in the face, I go, but I'm allowed to, and this is literally the way I get to work. My work is directly up there.
I must prepare.
There's no other way to get there. You have to go on this road. So there's nothing I can do. He had the biggest fit I've ever seen, and I just sat back and was like, yeah, no, it doesn't matter what he says or what he do. You know, like, it doesn't matter. I'm perfectly in my rights here, you know. It was just so funny. It's like, when I know what I'm doing is, like, legal and I'm allowed to do it, you can't tell me otherwise. You know, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get me. You know? Now, if I don't know the rule and I get told that, such and such is the rule, fine. You know? I'll admit, I got pulled over by a cop once because I was in the fast lane in my moped. I wasn't aware of that rule. I've never gone to driver's training or anything. I wasn't aware of that rule. That perfectly understandable, whatever. When that cop tried to tell me that I couldn't drive on the road when I was obeying the law, I wasn't having none of that. I'm like, nope. If this is the law, this is what you're required to uphold. You can't tell me otherwise, because I know it. And I was like, nope. Sorry, but nope.
I would be grateful if you could keep me updated on how the Knights of Favonius respond to this matter.
Yes, Master Diluc, sir. Anything you say, Master Diluc, sir.
Why are you acting so strange all of a sudden?
In light of what just went down here a moment ago, Master Diluc has officially reached #1 on everyone's people not to tick off under any circumstances list.
Right? That's truth. Don't tick off Master Diluc. Also, in case anybody wonders, each of these characters, you can actually see the vision on their character. It's that orb there. So, like, you can see that's, and that orb there is Noelle's vision. Zhangling here, or Zhangling, she has one right there on her belt. Let's see, where's Barbara's vision? There it is. It's on her book. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter how much you look at this character, you'll never see a vision on them. Because they don't have one. And I think that's really cool. Like, you can look at this character, and you can see what element they are. Because you can see on the wrists, on the knees, right there, you know, right in their chest there, and the two little spots here on their, like, back tassels. Like, it glows whatever their element is. So if I'm Animo, it's green. If I'm Geo, it's orange. And I think that's a really cool thing. that even on this character who has no vision, you actually can tell what their element is.
If we do not make contact with the Dark Knight hero soon...
What are you to do about the Abyss Order challenge?
It's you two. I must admit, this issue of the Dark Knight hero is proving to be something of a headache. We've just held a meeting to decide on an appropriate course of action. Can you guess what it is?
Join forces?
No, that would send a signal that the Knights are in favor of the Dark Knight's hero's continued presence in our city, which we are not.
Nope, reconnecting the server.
If we do not make contact... We've just held a meeting to decide on an appropriate course of action.
Bury our heads firmly in the sand?
Good one. But, no. The Knights cannot afford to simply stand by and watch while there is even the slightest inkling of a threat facing Mondstadt. If that were the case, more and more people would start to rely on the Dark Knight hero instead of the Knights of Favonius.
Oh, well, what's the plan then?
Find out the Dark Knight hero's true identity and offer him our protection.
Protection? He seems to be doing just fine without your protection so far, you know.
Well, since you've aided the Knights in the past, I might as well just tell you. The offer of protection is just a ruse in order for the Knights of Favonius to take over full and exclusive responsibility for this matter.
You aren't gonna let the Dark Knight hero be all heroic and stuff? Why not?
Firstly, to show the might of the Knights of Favonius, to prove to the people that without the Dark Knight hero, they can still rely on the Knights to maintain peace and harmony. Secondly, the Abyss Order have no mercy in their hearts. If anything happened to the Dark Knight hero, it would only serve to further their nefarious ambitions.
Gosh, Paimon never knew the life of a knight involved so much untold anguish before.
But none of this will work if we don't establish the Dark Knight hero's true identity in time.
There's no need to despair, Huffman. Just follow my plan, and everything will be fine.
Captain Kaya.
You can see Kaya's vision right here. On his hip.
Lately, Master Diluc has been working the bar at the Angel's Share every night. All I need you to do is keep him in your sight. Think you can manage that for me?
Yes, Captain Kaya. But does that mean that Master Diluc is the Dark Knight hero?
Who knows? It's just a hunch. I've been known to be wrong on occasion.
Alright.
Wow. Paimon feels we saw a whole new side of the Knights of Favonius today. But Paimon doesn't understand. How is Kaya so sure he knows who the Dark Knight hero is? We need to get to the winery and tell Master Diluc as soon as Paimonly possible.
Paimonly possible. I love that. Whee! Up. Charmander must have fallen asleep. I need some kind of mushroom that grows on these like viney spots. on houses. I don't know where to find them, like at all. You keep looking at the viney spots of the different houses, but then not seeing any of the mushroom. Whoops. Sorry about that. Smacking the NPCs. Furnish to Luke with the information.
Master D-Luke, Paimon has something important to tell you.
Yes, about Kaya. I should have known he would see this as the perfect opportunity to get back at me.
Sounds like there's a bit of bad blood between you guys then.
I shan't get into that now. More importantly, the Knights of Favonius are responding more or less as I had anticipated. All we need to do now is think of a counterplan.
You have any ideas?
Let me think for a moment. If they intend to monitor me, then so be it. We can use this to create the perfect alibi.
What's an alabla? An alibi?
Alabla.
If you want to find out, maybe you can do me a small favor first.
Oh, come on. Why do you love cliffhangers so much?
In Mondstadt, mist flowers are most commonly found in a region just northwest of the winery. If you could gather some for me, I'd be most grateful. I will make other preparations here in the meantime.
I have mist flowers. I have to leave the winery and then walk back in order to progress the quest. Because I already have mist flowers. Like a bunch of them. Oh. Oh, he's actually over here. So even though I have the mist flowers, it doesn't matter because I actually did have to come over here. Talk to D-Luke.
You're back.
Hi, kitty.
Allow me to introduce the winery's master brewer.
So many mist flowers. Great. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
So, are you certain the equipment can withstand this level of purity?
Oh my goodness. The winery owner himself is addressing me directly. Don't worry, sir. It is always my honor to serve you, even if it means risking my life.
Huh? What's so life-threatening about this?
Please, excuse me. I must get to work.
What's he gonna do with a bunch of mist flowers?
Long story short, a few days ago, the winery was experimenting with some new flavors. They wanted to see if mist flower can truly add a crisp and refreshing taste. Sure enough, they discovered that the flower's extract is truly potent.
So the new batch is selling like hotcakes?
No, not potent in terms of attracting customers, but slimes.
Slimes.
Slimes need to extract elemental energy to survive. For them, this substance is simply irresistible. So I thought to myself, I wonder how much trouble I could cause now that I know this.
Oh no.
Yikes! What was that noise?
Oh, cold. So cold. Oh, Master D-Luke. Purification complete, sir. But the equipment is...
Marvelous work. Don't fret about the equipment. I shall have my butler order more immediately.
Marvelous! Jolly ho! Spiffing! Somebody fetch the butler! I didn't know you had to be so well-spoken to get a job in the alcohol industry.
This is what I was talking about. Mist flower extract. Or, for our purposes, elemental bait.
Oh boy.
Wow! It really has a strong elemental whiff. Can we test it out?
Sprinkle a little on the ground over there. Careful, just a small amount.
Okay. Set the elemental bait. Talk to D-Luke.
And then that's it? How long does it take before...
They're right there.
Holy moly, it really does attract slimes. And even more than we expected.
It appears the potency is greater than anticipated. We'd better get rid of them before they wreak havoc on the manor.
That was only a tiny bit. Oh no. Enemies incoming. More enemies incoming. Oh, Geo Slimes this time. Oh, hi. Let me just switch to Barbara here for this one. Oh, I see. There's 2 giant slimes. That's not necessarily a good thing. There's 3 giant slimes. Especially there's 3 giant slimes. Nope, just 2. Okay.
Ooh, such a powerful effect from such a small amount of extract. At least we didn't go picking wildflowers for nothing. All right, so can you tell us what your plan is now, Master D-Luke?
Yes. The plan is...
Oh boy.
And so, I expect it to all go down
Well,
without
without
a
a
hitch.
Of course.
Are you sure it will work? You're the only person in the plan.
I have persevered alone from the start. Now, I alone must face what lies ahead.
Well, if you already made up your mind. But until that moment comes, we can still help you out where we can. Isn't that right?
Sure.
I am indeed indebted to you. I shall see you at the tavern, as per the plan.
Let's wait until evening to meet Master D-Luke at the tavern.
Go to the tavern. Right now, because it's currently evening. They'll probably tell me, wait until nightfall, and then go to the tavern. But it's already night. It's like, go to the tavern right now. It's time. Put the plan into action. Plan that only involves him. Plan that we didn't get to hear about. Hello.
Greetings, Mr. Hoffman of the Knights of Favonius. To what do I owe the pleasure at this hour?
Oh, nothing. I'm merely procrastinating. I thought I might indulge myself with a beverage or two. Ah, traveler. Fancy meeting you here.
Oh, we were in the mood for an evening stroll.
What would you like to drink?
I'll have a dandelion wine, I suppose.
Ooh, Paimon wants apple juice. Aw, but Paimon forgot to bring her coin pouch. Do you have any more on you?
Okay, start a tab. I also forgot to bring mine.
I must regretfully ask you to come back when you can pay.
Well, in that case, let this be my treat.
No need. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Leave the tavern.
Even if you are a close friend,
Ah! Goodbye. Leave tavern.
showed up, just as expected.
It's the elemental bait
remember
near
the
the
plan?
side gate.
Go to the city's side gate and place the elemental bait. Whoa! You used all of it! This is gonna be pretty epic.
Oh no.
Yikes! Here comes the slimes! Quick, let's get to the tavern before anyone spots us!
I know. Dr. Diluc.
Captain Kaya is no doubt a formidable knight, but he also brings us more than his share of hassle. No, this isn't right. I should not be talking about my superior in such a manner. If he were to overhear me...
We're back! Is my apple juice ready?
One moment.
Mr. Huffman! Mr. Huffman! A situation at the side gate! Everyone to the side gate!
Uh-oh.
What happened?
It's... slimes, Mr. Huffman.
Slimes. You see them all the time. What's the big panic?
A large number of slimes.
Sir, there are more slimes out there now than all the slimes I've seen in my life added together.
Oh no.
Whoa!
What did I
Surely
do?
this couldn't be the Abyss Order's secret weapon. But I have another matter to attend to here.
Oh? The matter of your dandelion wine?
No, that's not what I meant.
So this is how the Knights of Favonius conduct themselves in a crisis. The Abyss Order is encroaching on the city gates, and your response is to sit here drinking wine? It's like I've always said, the Knights are not to be trusted.
Master Diluc is right. My conduct here has been below par. I shall set off at once. But first, may I have a quiet word?
Huh?
Shh, keep your voice down. I presume you know what this is about. Please watch Diluc for me. Do not let him leave under any circumstances. I must head to the side gate, but I'll be back shortly. I'm counting on you.
Good. That's him out of the way.
Everything's going according to plan.
I must get going too. I won't have a second to spare if I'm to be back in time.
And he runs off. Face the Abyss Order head on at Montreat's front gate. What happens when 7 runs out at the wrong time? I'm going to find out. Bad things. Very bad things happen.
Ah, there you are. Dealing with you will be the easy part.
Wrecked. Holy crap! He's amazing! Ow. And now I'm playing against him again. Freaking Diluc, man. Oh my god.
Retribution!
Eh. Seriously. He is ridiculous. It would be if he didn't get frozen so easily. Admittedly, these enemies are much higher level than the game expects them to be.
I'll catch up.
That's probably the main reason why.
Leave it all to me.
Out of here. Get wrecked.
Classic Master D-Luke. Not a baddie left standing.
Nothing more than a few hilly churls. No time to chat. I don't know how long those slimes will keep Huffman occupied. Best get back to the tavern.
Glad that's settled. Let's get back to the tavern. Think Huffman is back yet?
We'll return to the tavern before Huffman. Nah, he won't get back till after we get there. It's the whole idea. Both of us have to get back there before Huffman gets there. And that's not hard to do. He's still working at the gates.
It seems Huffman hasn't yet returned. We made it in time.
The situation is sorted now. I never expected that the Abyss Order's army would turn out to be nothing more than a few slimes.
That is a surprise. Perhaps the Knight's true calling is to be slime exterminators. Who knows? Domestic pest control may turn out to be a more valuable use of your resources.
Master D-Luke, please, have you no respect at all? How come you're sweating so much? You didn't leave, did you?
No, this is really warm in here. I just did some squats.
Is that so? But why now, of all times, for the love of Barbados?
Uh-oh, Huffman is getting suspicious.
Excuse me, sir. Might I be so bold as to inquire? Did you see Master D-Luke, today's bartender? Did you see him leave just now?
Yikes, he's asking other customers. We're done for.
Master D-Luke? Why, no. He's been behind the bar this entire time.
I see.
Mr. Huffman, your dandelion wine. You ought to get back after this. Send my regards to the rest of the knights.
Oh, never mind. I must be going. I should report back. Here, take this as a token of my esteem. How odd.
That was too close. Paimon was sure we were toast.
I foresaw this eventuality. So, all the guests here tonight, save you two, are my own people from the Dawn Winery.
Nice.
They're all in on it?
Not all of them. Or should I say, not all of us.
Kaya?
Hi, Kaya.
Where did you come from?
I just picked a good spot to quietly sit and watch the show.
What? You've been here this whole time?
Correct. The Dark Knight Hero's Alibi. I think it's my favorite chapter so far. More intriguing than a fine wine.
So, you plan to report everything to the Knights of...
Oops.
Come now, Diluc. You know me better than that. I have no interest in exposing secrets. I was just curious to see how far Mondstadt's Dark Knight hero would really go. And you did not disappoint.
I have nothing to prove to you.
Oh, naturally. I must say, though, one thing I didn't see coming is that the mighty Dark Knight hero would actually need help from other people.
Sorry, we're closing. Please see yourselves out.
All right, all right. I have no further need of wine to entertain myself tonight in any case. Just one last thing before I go.
It had better be the very last thing.
I feel strangely comforted by the fact you now have an assistant, Diluc. I hope you all have a wonderful night.
These two clearly have some history.
What was all that about?
Don't mind him. Thank you for all your help with this. This is a token of my gratitude.
Wow! Thanks, Master Diluc.
I'm in the habit of working alone. But I did enjoy having your assistance this time. In the future, if there's anything you ever need, you can come to me for help.
Dark Knight Hero's Alibi, complete. Obtained 60 Prima Gems. Very nice. Along with a few other items that are decent. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Justice, for book's sake. To go to Quinky Village. This Minor, Chapter 1, Act 1, and Febrile Textile, Chapter Act 1. Treasure lost, treasure found, 9 Pillars of Peace. 9 pillars I can't do until I find every G-Oculus in the freaking game. Well, I have no doubts that I will eventually. It's probably going to be one of the last quests I ever get done. Just to be honest. How are we doing on adventure experience? 28, not bad. I mean, we're getting there on that. How much... Ooh, Quaint Fate. Quaint Fate. Which means we should have 10 Quaint Fates. Yes, we do. This puts us somewhere between... I think this puts us at 70 wishes now. So, not just like 20 more, and we'll get that guaranteed 5-star. Favonius Warbow. Ooh. And that's gonna be my 5-star this time, though, isn't it? Oh, Jing Kui. Okay. I didn't expect to see Jing Kui added to my party. 2 Masterless Star Glitter and 120 Masterless Stardust. Neat. Very neat. Okay. But yeah, I think that puts us at 70 wishes. So 2 more of those and we'll get 90 for that guaranteed 5-star. But we did just get that new character. So, where are they? That's a good question. Oh, is there just too many to list up there now? I did wonder. Queen Jin King, yeah, him. Yeah, there's too many to list up here now. I mean, okay, well you can scroll, so that's fine. But yeah, I've hit the limit. with 10 characters up here, and now I have 11. Cool. So King Kui, I think, something along those lines. He has a standard sword. So I feel I should either give him the prototype Rancor or the Lion's Roar. On hit, normal or charge attacks increase attack and defense. Let's do that. Getting a lot of male characters for my female-oriented group here. I'm not too happy about that. I'm assuming he's more the fighter type. So we'll give him the Bloodstained Chevalier goblet. Venture's Bandana, Exile Circlet, Crown of Parting. The Sojourner sets are pretty decent. Circlet of Logos. Yeah, this one's better. It's especially good if you can get another Sojourner piece. If not, Berserker seems pretty good. I'm trying to see what all I've got here. Energy Recharge is pretty good. Adventures is not a bad set, so... And Exiles is not a bad set. I think I had an Exile something here. Martial Artist. Do I have any Martial Artist of anything else? I mean, I have Exile's Feather. Berserker's Rose. Here's another Sojourner. Berserker. Can I give him an instructor on something else? Instructor's Teacup. These are Berserker. Wasn't there Berserker's Rose, yeah. That'll work for now. I can give him like really good stuff at the moment, considering I haven't even like touched him yet. Or level up 220, and I can already ascend him, which is awesome. Let's do that. Hydropathic. When the Rain Sword is shattered or when its duration expires, it regenerates the current character's HP based on his max HP. Wow. Form up to 5 rapid strikes. Consume a charged amount of stamina. Unleash 2 rapid sword strikes. Strike the ground below, damaging enemies along the path. Standard. Jinqui performs 2 strikes with the sword, dealing Hydra damage. At the same time, this ability creates the maximum number of rain swords, which will orbit the character. Rain swords have the following properties. When the character takes damage, the rain sword will shatter, reducing the amount of damage taken. Increase the character's resistance to interruption. 20% of his Hydro damage bonus will be converted to additional damage reduction for the rain swords. Maximum number of additional damage reduction can be gained this way is 24%. The additional maximum number of swords is 3. Seeing this ability applies the wet status onto the character. Rain Cutter. Initiate rainbow blade work and fight using an illusory sword rain, while creating the maximum number of rain swords. Normal attacks will trigger consecutive sword rain attacks dealing Hydra damage. Rain swords will remain at the maximum number throughout the ability's duration. Effects carries over to other characters. Neat. Neat. When he crafts a character talent material, 25% chance to refund a portion of the crafting material. Neat. Very nice. I always like it when there's when they have that ability to like refund stuff. I have the feeling he's gonna end up like Kaya and Razor here, who are both way back here doing nothing with poor Benny and Fischl. It's sad because I like Fischl, but she just has not been useful to me now that I have Lisa, so it really kind of sucks. I need some fire or some pyro Regisvines for her. Is everybody level up, like max level at the moment? Yeah. Aside from like Kaya, Benny, Fischl, Razor, and King Kui over here, they're all currently max level, so. Okay, let me give you all 8 of those. And 20 of those, I guess. Level 31's not terrible. 32's also not bad.
Oh, ow! Where did that come from?
Oh, Benny. Nobody cares about you. Like, that's his whole, like, character thing. Is that nobody cares about him. Which is exactly what that was just there. It was like, Benny's adventure team assemble! And then there's just nothing. It's because nobody actually cares about him. Alright. I don't want to waste these right now. So that's just it for levels. Which is fine. So much, like, info, so many stats. Destroying elemental energies can be released, increased damage caused by vaporize and melt. So increased damage caused by overload, yada yada yada, swirl. Increased damage absorption, power of shields created to crystallize. Oh, neat, okay. Mental mastery is 0. Everybody, of course, everybody's stamina is 200. We all like share the same stamina. I'm not even sure why that needs to be listed. Hey, she has an elemental mastery of 14. Increase damage by vaporize and melt by 2.8. The others by 6.6, and the shields by 4.4. Kind of wondered if elemental mastery might not be a really like good oh boy. 114. Oh, goodness. Increases damage by superconduct and electrocharge and overload, which are the 3 that she can trigger. 50%. Oh my god. Probably wouldn't hurt to look and see if I can give her more. Like elemental. Mastery. She does have that 5.2 electro damage bonus as well from this, which is pretty nice. This hasn't been enhanced at all. Electro damage up. See no issues here. Ooh, gain some defense. Have a lot of 1 materials. Oh, and I'm out of 1 materials. 1 star, whatever you want to call. Oh, I have a lot of that. 2 star. Thought 8 was the max level for 3 stars, but I guess not. 20% electro damage bonus. There we go, max level. Electro damage bonus and attack up. Nice! That is really good for her, actually. Having that level 12. Maxed it out to level 12. So that's a really, really good artifact for her. Oh my god. That is like the best artifact I have for her at the moment. So, even like this 4-star one is technically not as good because it doesn't do the electro and the elemental mastery and stuff. So, Tower of Torrents. Do I have anything else that gives good stat? That's the Instructor's Teacup. The Instructor's Cap also gives Elemental an energy recharge. So let's have her equip that as well. And then boost. You know, we can go up to level 12 as long as we've got enough, Mora. It's a 3-star. I'm gonna run out though pretty quick here. Add a new bonus attribute there. Got some HP. Getting that attack up though. Oh, and that's all the money I've got now. Which sucks because that's level 11 out of 12. So, I wish you could just sell stuff. They have 1,000,001 things that would just be better if I could just sell them. Energy recharge isn't bad. HP and crit damage. I mean, her current one didn't give her anything anyway, so... But that's got even higher energy recharge. What else do I have here? I do have a couple of exile. Instructor. Ooh, here we go. I could give her an instructor's feather accessory. If I give her an instructor anything. One more instructor item. What is her current one again? Scholar, Plume of Death. Scholar's Quill Pen. Versus the instructor's Feather Accessory. This one does give more attack. But this gives 4-piece set. What do I have as my flower? Berserker's Rose? Do I have an instructor's brooch? Yes, I do. Oh, that would be even better then. Let me equip that. $124 Elemental Mastery. Good grief. Good grief. 124% energy recharge. Oh my god. Crit rate of 5, but crit damage of 54%. Wow. Electro damage bonus of 23%. Though 0% on her resistances, so like she's a glass cannon at this point. She has no real good resistances, but that electro damage bonus, freaking you need lightning, she's got it at this point. Oh my god. Like, seriously, I don't even want to think about messing with her now. Those are some stats, though, let me tell you. Those are some stats.
Come in, take a seat. We have a few specials today at Angel Share.
Alright, well.
Be safe. May the animal
It is 4:30. So now would honestly be the best time for me to consider popping off for a bit. We need to enhance 8 artifacts to level 8. Ascend 3 characters to phase 2 and a weapon to phase 3. So I can't do the phase 3 one at all yet. I need to get, I think it's adventure rank 30 for weapons. Yeah. So I mean we're good on the adventures journal at the moment. Like we're caught up basically. Maiden's Fading Beauty. Character healing effectiveness. Ooh. That's going to be really good for Barbara when we can get it. So. But yeah, obviously not for a while. Venture Treasure Pack. Daily high score reward. Grants random tier 1 character ascension material. What? Do I have those? Or does it just auto give me the thing? I think that one just auto gives me the thing. I've noticed sometimes there's items in your inventory that are like that. Gives 1,000 experience. His experience is still beneficial even if one does not live in Tavat. Oh, okay. I see what those are. Never mind. I was like, what is that? Oh, right. That's the thing I use to level up, like, all the time. Right. Okay. So yeah, I think it just automatically gives me the item. Which is fine. Sometimes when they're in, like, the chests like that, it does actually give you that chest. and you have to actually like open it. But yeah, it looks like in this regard, it's not. So looks like it just actually gives me the thing, which is fine, because that would become a pain eventually, honestly. Neato. Alright. And where are my expeditions at current?
Add astro.
4 hours and 20 minutes. So if I were to stay up for another, 4.5 hours, I could get those and then send them off again before going to bed. If I wanted to stay up 5 more hours. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Do have a few more things. We'll probably tackle either Wolf's Territory or Justice for Book's sake next time. But I think this is probably a good spot to end off at for now. Barbara, you can cook these. Maybe give me some extras. Oh, I almost missed that one. Okay, that's all I can do with those. I think I'm proficient in all of these. Not this one, the Flaming Red Bolognese. I can only make it once. Alright, don't have the flour to make any more. At least I may obtain special dish. Alright, well, I think that's all that we can do at the moment with that. I need to find more of these lotus heads. I can get that proficiency up. Cheese? Can't I make cheese? Oh yeah, with the milk. Right. That's right. I gotta make cheese with the milk in order to do the thing. Which is fine. I don't even have the mushroom. Like, I don't have all the ingredients for that very many times anyway. Oh, hey, tofu. Jewelry soup. One. Actually, we can do this one again now. There we go. Alright, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have, feel free to subscribe. You can check the video description down below for a link to the playlist. That way you can get caught up on any episodes of Genshin Impact that you have missed. These are streamed live over at twitch.tv/SereneInc. Feel free to come out, hang out with us, and chat. And with that, I will see you guys next time, I guess. See you later.